It's it's funny. We recommend to patients, every physician does, to wear sunscreen as a thing that can prevent skin cancer. And that's advice that's almost unchallenged. However, the data that sunscreen prevent melanoma in particular are not that strong, mostly because no one would ever do a randomized trial of sunscreen for melanoma prevention. But if you look at the use of sunscreen in the United States and the incidence of melanoma, they kind of exactly parallel. So there's this fear that sunscreen may allow patients to stay out in the sun longer or get a higher dose or something like that. So when you can't study a question nicely in a randomized patient population, sometimes mouse models can be very helpful. And so there's been interest in trying to use mammalian models for sunscreen research in a while. And the problem has been that murine models are somewhat resistant to melanoma formation. So when treated with UV light alone, they really don't develop melanoma. So what this study has done is taken a genetically engineered mouse that has sort of a few steps genetically down the road to getting a melanoma. So they sort of bias the animals to get melanoma by expressing a mutant RAS protein in their melanocytes, and as well as knocking out a tumor suppressor gene. And so this genetics is very similar to human melanoma. In fact, these sorts of lesions are seen in nevi, which are the precursor lesions to melanoma. And then the investigators tried to see if they could induce melanoma with UV light in these animals, which they could. And so that then meant that they had a nice, easy-to-use model of murine melanoma. And then they tested various different sunscreens. And I think the surprising thing about the study has been that they tested a variety of SPF sunscreens that are all SPF 30, so the same sort of solar block, if you will, and some worked better than others. So the SPF number did not correlate exactly with the ability to prevent melanoma in a murine model. Now, of course, it's unclear whether these results would translate to humans. Human skin and mouse skin are different. But I think it's very exciting because, as I said, most skin creams, most sunscreens are not tested at all for the ability to prevent skin cancer. And so here we have clear data that sunscreen can prevent melanoma, and that not all sunscreens are created equal.